again, yes, I agree. Kraken were a little bit disappointing last week. I think maybe this is the week where they turn it back around.
But I think they can do it. I'm going to go with Mindfreak today. I think it'll be close, though. And it's a pretty crazy brawl to start things off. Legabril low, good start for Kraken. Great start, in fact.
Yeah, that's two big picks coming out from Lasky to start things off. Should get the point now.
Not a good start at all for Kraken. It's a great start for Mindfreak.
Yeah, it is indeed. And this team, they worked their way through trials, as we said. They've earned themselves a spot here in Contenders. They've been picked up by the Mindfreak org, which is a well-known org here in Australia as well. So they've had a lot of successes as a roster in the last few months. Yeah, definitely, and they may yet have more success today. Lasky going relatively low, but already a pick onto QVN. Main tank down, though. That's favourable for Kraken. They can definitely win this fight right now. Yeah, behind Legabril Hill, they will be pushing forward. Kamsky's has at least pumped the rally for now as they walk their way onto the point. Dench straight up drops the Transcendence, though, Jordan, and Mindfreak immediately falls back. Yeah, an aggressive trans out from Dench. Nicely done from Kraken. A very immediate response, only 33% secured for Mindfreak, and that's all because they trade the Reinhardt for the Brigitte. You can see how important it is to have a Reinhardt available to you in this kind of GOATS composition scenario. But I think Mindfreak, one of their big advantages as a roster is that they're very coordinated together. Great pin. Goes into the pin. I think maybe there was a shield there as well, but Legabril sitting in amongst it, swinging around that big Reinhardt hammer, and Kraken being very aggressive now that they are in the right position here, Jordan, pushing Mindfreak again back on Born. Yeah, this is going to swing things a little bit back in the favour of Mindfreak, surely, as Cool Whip does have the grab. Carroll now does not. Shadow could be big here from Legabril. Needs to be. Self-destruct coming through, right in the middle of the shield as well. Oh, nice. That finds Legabril. That's the positioning that you're looking for with that self-destruct. We saw one last week as well, Jordan. Shadow comes shield through. Yeah, big picks here now from Mindfreak, looking to get themselves back onto the point. Well, that was perfect from Mindfreak as Legabril gets taken down. There's no concerns for Lasky when he throws his own shadow out. Lasky actually blocked Legabril's shadow in the Graviton Surge as well. Bit to work with on both sides, but two support ultimates for Mindfreak compared to only the one for Kraken. They should be able to outlast Kraken in this fight and retake the lead. Looking to get back onto the point right now, but we'll see who decides to use more ultimates in this scenario. It's going to be Mindfreak first. Fractured. Throws out the sound barrier. Again, you see that support ultimate out, and all the opposing team does is drop back and wait for it to dissipate. Yeah, now it is just a trance to keep them alive through Carroll Koala's grab. Waiting for a big Graviton Surge here, potentially throws it right into the middle. Allows the team to get right on top of it as well, because Dench has thrown out a trance to keep them strong. Cool Whip. Great timing. Dear. This might be enough actually coming out from Mindfreak. They find a couple that'll stop Kraken right in their tracks. They'll be forced back once again. Up now to 82%. This is a good start from Mindfreak. It's what they want to see. And Control Center slowly slipping out of Kraken's grips. The ult charge just working very nicely in the favor of Mindfreak there. Dench throwing the trans out early, like you said, to get everyone on top of their own grab to try and deal with Mindfreak, but there was a defensive trans, and by the time the trans had ended, Cool Whip's grab came up, and that was that. Oh, nice Earth Shadow catches out QVN. No more Brigitte to work with. We're into overtime. 99% here for Mindfreak. And Lasky is going to town. Yeah, he's absolutely smashing Kraken right now. There's a very solid looking win for Mindfreak to start things off. Ago will try and last as long as he can. Legabril has swapped over onto Hamtaro to try and get back to the point in time. But it is really, I think now at this point, a matter of time before Mindfreak finish things off. Yeah, they're in the right spot. So this is almost inevitable. There we go. Objective secured. Control point here on Lijiang Tower heads across to Mindfreak. Good start for them. As we said, they're looking to try and find themselves in a position where they can fight for 4th slot. And it's definitely a better place to be than 5th or 6th. Yeah, look, all you have to really do is beat Kraken and then beat Legacy as Mindfreak, and I think that is within the realms of possibility. Mindfreak have, as I've said, shown quite a bit of
success, not necessarily a success really actually throughout this season. Like, they haven't won anything, but the way that they've been playing their game, if you watch their matches, they seem coordinated, they seem to understand what they need to be doing, and I think it's just the execution that is maybe a little bit weaker for them. The experience maybe is a little bit weaker for them as a roster, but I definitely think this is a promising looking squad. And if they get the win today over Kraken, while I wouldn't say I think they will beat Legacy, I'd probably give it maybe like a 60-40, 75-35, or 25 chance to well, Legacy to win.
75-35, that's a good
25.
one. Yeah, I know. There we go. All right, Legabril low, very low, goes down. The first one picked up. Lasky traded back immediately. It's a 1-for-1, but now they've lost Brigida, and Mindfreak probably going to need to give this one up as the control point unlocks.
Yeah, a lot of charge over there for Carroll Koala. I say a lot of charge, actually, not too much. Got a couple of kills, so I got maybe a bit ahead of myself there, but definitely a good start for Kraken. 75% charged up for Dench. Carroll Koala will get rid of Goobs as well, so the fight over before it begins, as Mindfreak will have to wait. Now the tables have definitely turned. Mindfreak were the one that were dictating things on Control Center, but now that we're here on Night Market, things are certainly a lot different.
Up to 25% now are Kraken. Trant's going to come through here. This might be enough to win the fight. We'll see if it plays out that way or not. Cool whip the first one down.
Oh!
That's an amazingly huge Earth Shatter coming out, and that doesn't matter. Nothing else that happens here now matters. Mindfreak, one great ultimate out from Lasky is enough.
That was a fat shadow with a PH.
Oh
Lasky.
my goodness, that's my Macca's play of the game right there, Elfishguy.
And Kamsky's was dead as well. There wasn't even a shield bash for him. So Legabril just getting outplayed a little bit there by Lasky. And it was a fight one that Mindfreak probably should not have.
No.
It swings things well back in the favor now of Mindfreak, because it really only cost them the shatter there as well.
That's it. Like getting a bargain. Like a $1 frozen
that's
Coke.
probably the best Earth Shatter we've seen so far this season.
Well, certainly the most effective, that's for sure. Legabril getting bullied back there by the Brigida. Needs to be careful. Trance, self-destruct. We'll see whether it comes down on top or not. A go finds two. Legabril finds Lasky. Gonna commit 2 ultimates at least into making that a thing. And now Kraken, as they capture the point back, Jordan, still in the lead and now have that ultimate advantage as well.
I think Lasky's shield may have been broken in that sense. Otherwise, there was probably him just being a little bit pushed away from the rest of his teammates, so he wouldn't have been able to shield them anyway. But regardless, nicely done from Kraken. But we're going to see the grab self-destruct combo out from Mindfreak themselves, not to mention another shatter built up almost instantly by Lasky. That's a good combo.
Yeah, that's not a bad Earth Shatter at all. See the sound barrier coming out from Fractured, and it's Legabril actually who gets caught out. This time around, Lasky's Earth Shatter does not really do much at all.
He gets lever it, and that is enough. Mindfreak have got the player advantage.
Kraken, though, they've got the point. Lasky's been knocked down. Dench gets into the thick of things as well with the trance. Self-destruct, is that going to go off the edge or stay just in the right spot? Unfortunately, I don't think it does what it needs to do.
It did, Ben. Well, it didn't necessarily matter whether or not the self-destruct did what it needed to, as Legabril will go charging off the edge with Cool Whip in tow. It's going to be a cap over for Mindfreak. Of course, we get up to 96% there for Kraken, but that last fight, Ben, that last grab, Lasky had 4 or 5 people just that he could hit with impunity, and he's able to build the Earth Shatter up once again. So far, we've seen a couple of good shatters from him here on Lijiang Tower.
Looking for another.
Exactly.
Here we go. This is the time, looking for big plays coming up from Mindfreak. We'll see what Kraken can do.
Big.
It's a big play coming out from a go there on the Diva. And well, now this is going up to 99% when Kraken gets the point back across.
Yeah.
Does Mindfreak even have the time to get back?
I don't think that they do. Perhaps Fractured can touch, but won't quite get there in the end. Lasky threw out a last-ditch effort with the Shatter, but even if he hit a 6-man Earth Shatter there, I think the fight was already won. As soon as it got 3 kills without self-destruct, so we're back to 1 apiece.
And the closest control point map we've seen so far today.
Yep. Bit streaky out there from both sides, I guess, at this point, as both of the rounds that have gone to their respective victors haven't been without a recontest from the loser. And Mindfreak, I don't want to drop this first map. Kraken, a bit of momentum with the experience that they have, I think could be a little bit too much Mindfreak need to lead from the front.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, let's head on out. One round remains here on Lijiang Tower. Looking to go 1-0 up this 4-map series. And Lasky, look at this. I love to see the trades of the Winstons into the back line at the beginning of the battle. We're going to start the fight out right outside the control point. Legabriel actually very low, getting healed up, and it's Fractured now, who's looking a little bit unhealthy.
Yeah, Legabriel one shot and does go down to Kamskis. That's a big pick, but followed up by a few more from Kraken. Still, looks like the fight will be won actually by Kraken, even despite losing their main tank. Not typically the way that it goes, but get the job done in the end. Kamski's up to 96%, Cool Whip up to 70. Charge the ults pretty quickly. Lasky decides to go back onto the Reinhardt, which was like a bit of a comfort pick, I think, for him.
Mindfreak this time going to decide to head round to the left, and Kraken quickly move across to hold themselves inside the control point. Wait for Mindfreak to push through. Leverett probably looking for a boop or two as well. A lot of ultimates here on the side of Kraken. The question is, which ones do they choose to use? Hopefully not all of them at the same time. It's going to be Leverett first. Wukuip throws out the grab. The self-destruct is there as well. A go again. Finds two.
Yeah.
Some very good D.Va self-destructs coming out today.
Just stuck on the wrong side of that Graviton Surge. Could not keep his team alive. And Mindfreak, they threw so much into that fight. And it's all for naught. That's a very punishing blow for Mindfreak, and I don't know if they'll even be able to come back from that, actually. Kraken have got such an advantage now. Christoph with the self-destruct and the sound barrier here for Fractured, but they have to go through what Kraken has available to them. And Ben, I'm starting to get the sense that Kraken might finish this one off.
Oh yeah, here we go. Sound barrier is used, but there's a very big primal raging Legabriel right in the midst of things. Dench going to be in there as well, giving the heals out across the board to Kraken, and Lasky and Fractured, you can see both going to go down. So Kraken now at 70%, they'll win this fight. Mindfreak will need to reset.
Yeah, this is looking super solid for Kraken right now. Mindfreak have just not quite managed to get the ball rolling at all. They will have one more fight. Ults are coming up for them, but is it going to be enough? Do they have enough ultimates? Goob's Transcendence is pretty critical with 70% right now. He can get it in the next fight before Leverett or Dench will get their own support ults. That might be the saving grace for Mindfreak here. They still need more to follow it up. A good Earth Shatter or good self-destruct.
We're holding on to Graviton Surge for now as well. Christoph and Goose perhaps the last hope. Yeah, that did not work, and there's a self-destruct in the midst. We'll find Leverett. So Mindfreak finally get themselves an advantage here on the third and final round of Lijiang Tower, and they will be able to push this through to find themselves the point. Yeah. The question now, Jordan, is can they hold it?
That's actually a really good take from Mindfreak, courtesy of Christoph, getting the eat and then getting one kill with the self-destruct. Huge impact from D.Va in that fight. Kamski's the other one to throw the ult in, which was just a rally. But now we've got a pretty decent amount for Mindfreak to be able to hold on with. Ago has been very solid with the D.Va bomb so far today, but could well be shut down by Fractured with the sound barrier.
Nice Earth Shatter. Well done. That's Lasky doing work. And QVN's the first one to be picked up. Graviton Surge comes through, catches out a go.
Don't know if that was necessary.
If we necessarily need that.
Yeah, it's kind of put Mindfreak in a pretty bad spot now for this next fight. Graviton Surge. Yeah, I really don't think it was necessary there from Cool Whip, but we'll see how it works out for Mindfreak. They still do have two support ultimates. Maybe they have enough to hang on here. Looking at Kraken's side of things, though, it's going to be 5 ults, maybe 6, depending on how well Kraken can enable QVN in this fight.
QVN goes down straight away. He was so low. There's literally nothing anyone could do. Fractured doesn't need to use the sound barrier yet. You can see the team's health. They're all strong. That self-destruct on the wrong side of the Reinhardt shield as well. Mindfreak throws out one of their own. They're up to now 60%. Cool Whip up to 50% of his ultimate as well as Fractured boops Dench off the side. Maybe assists Dench off the side.
Big plays from Mindfreak there. They probably should not have been able to win that fight, but getting the kill onto QVN so early. Yeah. Such an advantage. And Dench's Transcendence a little too late to save QVN. And Mindfreak now have, again, a little bit of an ult advantage. Earth Shatter from Lasky. He's been super solid on Reinhardt so far, expecting a good one.
Straight into it goes Legabriel. We'll see if he stays alive. Earth Shatter again onto a go. It's going to be Leverett using the sound barrier to try and counteract that one. But Caramel Koala is gone. Another Another Graviton Surge coming out from Mindfreak. Cool Whips got that one out pretty quickly. They're now up to 96%. And one would think that at this point, there's actually nothing Kraken can do.
There is not.
How funny. 90 seconds ago, Jordan, this was a very different story.
Yeah, look at that. Great stuff out from Mindfreak. A few streaky fights won, but fights won in the end. And very nice positioning out from Mindfreak in the final fight there, forcing Kraken to fight on the bridge, which doesn't give them space to move. Even then, there's the ever-present threat of somebody getting booped off, and that was an inevitability. But even if someone doesn't get booped off, you just don't have anywhere to position yourself. You can't move to the side, you can't avoid abilities, you have to go either backwards or forwards. And so they were stuck in that choke, and Mindfreak were able to just smack away at them with complete ease. For Kraken, a disappointing loss there because they had that point, they had it up to 99, or roughly speaking, but they couldn't get the job done in the end. Mindfreak, a nice comeback, and I gotta say, I think Lasky looking pretty good today on that Reinhardt.
Yeah, absolutely. A number of good plays. To be fair, even though, you know, we sort of frame this as these are the teams at the bottom of the ladder, the skill and the ability and the team play that we're seeing out of these two teams is well and above what we saw from teams in the same position in season number 1 of Contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. These are all very good players. There's no question about that. But just in comparison to some of the top teams in Contenders, they're not quite as good. I'm pretty impressed by Mindfreak. I've got to be honest. Like, I think across the board, they just do look very, very solid. And while they may not necessarily be a huge contender in this season, I think if this roster stays together, or the core of this roster stays together, and sort of do something similar to what we saw from Serenity from season 1 to season 2 into now playing for Melbourne Mavericks in season 3, I definitely think that this Mindfreak roster could be something, you know, in a year's time that is actually a pretty strong team. And, you know, it depends on how the other teams play out, how the roster changes occur and that kind of thing. But I definitely think, you know, this is a team that has potential. That's a word that we get thrown around quite a lot. But, you know, I really believe that Mindfreak can definitely make something happen.
To get, you know, I feel like I've been hurt in the past. I've been, you know, find the hype train of a team that maybe I thought this is the team to back. And, you know, by the end of the season, they're going to be finding their momentum and they're in a good spot. And at the end, I always feel a little bit let down. Maybe Serenity didn't let me down last season. I can't, you know, fault them too much. But this Mindfreak team, that's another. I'm going to back them. I'm going to, and don't disappoint me.
Well, you've changed your mind pretty quickly, Ben.
Well, no. I still actually think, Kraken's in a good spot too. The difference is that one is a team that's come through as a core that hasn't been in Contenders
Our
before.
Expectations of Kraken are certainly higher than our expectations from Mindfreak.
Correct.
And that's maybe why we're speaking so highly of Mindfreak, and not necessarily poorly of Kraken, but definitely speaking a lot higher of Mindfreak right now, because they're a new team, because there's none of these players played in Contenders before this season. So the expectation is that they should just get absolutely dumpstered by all the experience and the players that have been around for quite a long time. But that's not happened. Every single match that we've seen from Mindfreak, while they haven't won any yet, has been a pretty reasonable performance from them. They've looked solid, and maybe today is the chance for them to get their first win. They've already put the right foot forward, being able to get the win there on Lijiang Tower, and now we head on to Hollywood.
Though, to be fair, it was quite close, wasn't it? Kraken at times certainly looked like they were going to get the better of Mindfreak, so certainly feels to me like this is going to be our closest match of the day. So we head on to the hybrid game mode. This one going to be picked by Kraken. And what do you think? We take a look. Mindfreak played this twice, lost this twice. So has Kraken.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Literally
zero to take out of that,
Mindfreak have already picked up one win, which was on Ilios last week against Athletico on the control maps. But neither team so far has been able to get a win on either a hybrid or an assault map. A win on Escort has come for Kraken, which was against Legacy last week.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Kraken going to come out on attack, Mindfreak on defense, which is where we probably expect to see them. And these team comps, Jordan, looking very familiar.
No real surprises out from either side. Lasky, once again, will be quite happy to be on the Reinhardt here. I think he's had a bit of an advantage over Legabril so far today in the Reinhardt battles. Legabril will be looking to change that.
Kubian
nice
goes in hard.
But very, very nice bubble out from Cool Whip in response. Oh, that's a huge pick. Goops is dead. Goodbye.
Indeed, and that might be enough to get this one going now for Kraken. They lose one back straight away. Great work from Fractured, and well,
great response.
Yeah, that's it. You need to find the next pick, and they are successful with the next two.
Not only do you need to find the next pick, you need to find the next pick fast. cannot afford to allow 5 seconds there for Kraken to heal up and then really commit to the push. Mindfreak, they know that they've lost a player. They know that they need to equalize, otherwise they will lose that war of attrition. And they're able to capitalize very quickly on the low HP targets, and they do manage to salvage the fight, salvage the point for themselves.
Yep.
Kraken here with another attempt though.
Yeah, let's give this one another bell. Kraken pushing in. They get nice and close to the point in behind Legaril's shield, though looking kind of low. Trans will come through. Is that going to be enough? Might just get this fight going now for Kraken as Lasky's down. Self-destruct. This needs to be a big self-destruct. It's in behind the shield. No, it's not. And Kraken in a prime position now to pick up the first objective.
Well, I want to say it's still winnable for Mindfreak, but I don't believe it myself. Cool Whip will be dropped and Fractured backs away. So many unused ults there for Mindfreak. Unfortunately, they just did not quite come up in time. Thought the self-destruct might do a little bit more work than it did, but in the end, actually, shield was in place for Legabril, so a very nice take for Kraken. Pretty quick there on Hollywood on point A.
Yeah, and 4 minutes 40, that's a ton of time for Kraken to work with. Let's see what Mindfreak decides to do. Will they be particularly aggressive here? We saw that aggression worked out quite well for a number of teams last week. Lasky going to jump right through, right in their face. That's precisely what they're going to do. That Earth Shatter, no Earth Shatter yet, but it's going to be Mindfreak who does manage to find themselves in quite a decent position. After saying that, they now all drop back immediately, Elfishguy.
Yeah, Lasky's barrier is very low at the moment, so Mindfreak need to be a bit careful. The sound barrier down, but still a lot to work with right now for Kraken. Carroll Koala has just been farming.
Ooh, big Earth Shatter. Big Earth Shatter from Lasky, but it's followed up by a counter, and that's to go along with Caramel Koala. Yeah,
all that time that Lasky had the barrier down was time for Caramel Koala to build up his own grab, and maybe a bit of an overextension from Mindfreak that time as do get caught off a little bit by Kraken, building their ults up very quickly. I don't think they expected the grab to be up that quickly again. Kraken though, coming into this, will have to do what they've already done once again to get through this, and Lasky leading the charge once again.
Oh, big Earth Shatter only finds Cool Whip. Is that going to be enough or not? Well, he follows it up with 2 big swings, Jordan.
I think Mindfreak need to reset here. They're just playing a little bit more split up, a little bit less solid than what we normally expect out from them. Trying to make something happen when it's not really providing itself. Kraken are taking advantage of it. Mindfreak now could even get staggered here as well. Like,
yeah, surely
this momentum from Kraken is just absolutely huge.
So, again, 4 minutes, 20 seconds for Kraken to work with in prime position. 2 ultimates as well, it's the hole-in-one. See whether they can use this effectively.
Well, if it's going to stop anywhere, Ben, the card is going to stop here.
Rally come through.
Eden.
Yeah, was that?
Caramel Koalas.
Yeah.
But I go still.
Doesn't matter.
He still managed to get value.
Literally some of the best results coming out from these Diva Bombs for Kraken.
I don't think we've seen a bad Diva Bomb so far from
No, and the thing is, some of them aren't those big 5 and 6 hero pickups that we say are the huge ones.
You don't need it.
It's the ones that get 2 or 1 at the right time. That's what really makes a difference, particularly early in the fight.
Well, 3.5 minutes, this is going to have to be a very stoic defense from Mindfreak if they're going to pull this one down for Kraken. Lots to work with. Great block from Lasky. Self-destruct across now from Christoph.
Yeah, were they going to catch them out? The answer is no. And Kraken are looking very strong now on attack.
Where's the support ults? That's my question. Fractured and Goobs, they've been holding these support ults, and you need to be using them in that fight. You've lost your entire team, and now Kraken is pushing in to cap this with more than 3 minutes left on the clock.
Now we have to use it to get onto the point, Jordan. That's what you're going to use your trans for.
Not great value at all out there for Mindfreak with those support ults. Maybe they can still hold on here. Grab comes out, of course, from Caramel Koala, and that might just be the nail in the coffin, I think. As Christoph will be hit by the Earth Shatter. Graviton Surge across from Cool Whip, but there is no one to follow it up. Goob's the last alive. He'll fall, and that is a great offense from Kraken.
Jordan, if the Graviton Surge was the nail, then Legabril was the hammer to smash it in and get that payload finally across the line with a ton of time. We honestly do not normally see Hollywood go to a point where you've got over 2.5 minutes remaining.
No, definitely not.
It is not a regular occurrence, at least not here in Overwatch Contenders Australia. And now Kraken, even though they lost the first map 2-1 to Mindfreak, have set themselves up in a very good position to do something about evening the score, heading into half-time.
Very much looking like that is going to happen. I would struggle to see Mindfreak beating that time. They'll have to have a very strong attack. I think Mindfreak will be disappointed with that. They never really got themselves into that round at all. It just seemed like Kraken would win fight after fight after fight, and Mindfreak could never really reset properly until it came to that final fight in the third phase of the map. But at that point, you know, they get a pretty reasonable shatter down and then lose 2 players straight away. So a very quick punch back from Kraken. Going blow for blow right now with Mindfreak, but Kraken need to have a good defense of their own. We've already talked about it. Attacking win is not enough. If Mindfreak are able to do the same, who's to say overtime won't favor Mindfreak?
Well, that's it, right? We really need to see how these teams go head-to-head now the sides have swamped. And so to be fair, the decision-making maybe wasn't what I would have expected to see from Mindfreak the first time around on defense. So I guess we'll see how this plays out for them. They need to find themselves a bit of time as well, I suspect. It's not just a matter of being successful and getting to the final objective.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, what are we swapping? There we go, Brigitte. Easy. That catches you in. Nice, nice and quick. Gets you back into the play. But they're going to waste a little bit of time here.
I need healing. Doing better.
Ready.
Right.
I'm ready.
Like a
Ryan
drill.
versus Ryan, yeah. Oh, Lasky, first one goes down immediately.
Famous Kraken. No Ryan,
Yeah.
big problem.
Yeah, drops all the way back.
No Brig, no problem. At least for Kraken in that case. Lasky just got popped, man. As soon as his shield went down, he died straight away. Dench had the Discord orb ready.
Well, they're right back into it, but Lasky takes a fair bit of damage to start things off, as does Kristoff, and now the transfer from Dench could be enough to swing this fight all the way into
Oops has one
Kraken's
now.
favor. Yeah.
Counter trance. What can Mindfreak do?
The second trance is the better trance if everyone's still alive, that's for sure. It's going to last longer. Legaril getting ready to throw out an Earthshatter, but Lasky has his available already and does use it. Catches out Caramel Koala, as with a number of players, and that will be enough to get Mindfreak through here by the looks of things. Now that Leverett's down, there's very little the Kraken can do.
Yeah, great stuff from Mindfreak. Cool, calm, and collected as that Transcendence from Dench came across. One thing I have noticed from Dench is that he does like to use aggressive Transcendences. He likes to use them to enable his team to push in there, which is not a terrible decision by any means. But if the team doesn't follow up, if you can't find a kill or two, and that Trance then fades, that really does give a big swing of momentum over to the opposition side. So Mindfreak able to cap out with pretty much the exact amount of time that Kraken was. In fact, I think that might have been slightly quicker than Kraken's attack.
Yeah, it was very quick. I think they had like 4:24 or something.
Legaril, no shatter now.
Well, catches him out, goes down, has his Graviton Surge available as well. Just need to be in a position to follow it up with some decent damage. But unfortunately for Kraken, Goobs and Fractured both have ultimates that could help power through, at least for now. But Mindfreak going to drop back, reset here. Kraken in a pretty good position. We'll see whether they choose to fight at this corner time and time again. We saw a lot of it again last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So not a bad place for the GOATS composition to play, because no high ground to really worry about. It's just an all-out brawl on the ground. Self-destructs on both sides available. Coolwhip certainly looking for his right now.
Throws the Graviton Surge straight into the side, as does Caramel Koala. Self-destructs come through. It's a 1-for-1 on self-destructs, but Mindfreak come out with the advantage here. That's what they needed to do, looking to find Legaril, who does go down there to Lasky, and that should be enough to get this payload moving for them. They've lost about a minute just getting around the corner, but now they're here. They can hopefully, for them, at least get a bit of momentum going, though let's remember that the second phase for Kraken was quite efficient, that they didn't even need to fight on the last third of this section either.
Yeah, looking a bit better for Kraken at least. They've stalled Mindfreak quite significantly. Time is always of the essence when you're facing down 2 minutes 49 in the time bank of your opposition. that's always in the back of the mind of Mindfreak, is that they need to win every single fight.
Yeah, looking for a big Earth Shatter as well. That might be enough. Is that a 1-for-1 Earth Shatter? Both of them connect, but in the end, all it does is negate the other. But Kraken have lost Legabrill, and that should allow now Mindfreak to keep going here.
Yeah, Kraken just getting split up a little bit there. You could see a lot of players isolated. And Mindfreak, especially Lasky, continues pushing on forward. There's a great chance of a stagger now here for Mindfreak, which Kraken were not able to do. Kamskis just needs to get a shield bash onto Dench even would be lovely.
Look at this. Mindfreak so aggressive right now, making the most of that transition time as the doors open.
And while they don't get a kill there, Ben, at least they force Kraken back, so it's going to be much more difficult for Kraken to mobilize into a defensive position. Lasky holding forward. So be careful, quite low. Shatter available.
Yeah, Mindfreak almost with 6 ultimates here. Trance comes through along with the Earth Shatter, just a self-destruct now from a go, but it's not going to find any kills. However, considering what went out there, Kraken actually did not lose that much and are now in a half-decent position.
Yeah, in fact, Mindfreak actually throwing out their grab in that fight as well.
Yep.
And there's a shatter. That's a big shatter from
Fight
Legabrill.
one. Easy done. See you later. Now
Moves
Kraken, in some reason, managed to push all the way forward. I don't know how Mindfreak didn't win the previous fight, to be honest.
Well, the grab was good. Kept them busy. Cool Whip up to 70% of the ult, and that's going to be a little bit more farming off the Diva. Time is already favoring Kraken now, though, as Mindfreak get below 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, if Mindfreak can do this in the next sort of 45 seconds to a minute, certainly not the end of the world.
Yep.
If it ends into overtime, that certainly is not what they want to see. Legabrill charged through, but gets caught out. Now that is not what Kraken wanted at all. They lose QVN, they lose Caramel Koala.
That's a big fight for Mindfreak. They don't use any ultimates. You want to be saving this Earth Shatter for the final attack.
And the Graviton Surge can go right into the corner as well, Jordan.
This is definitely achievable for Mindfreak now with a reasonable time on the board. 1 minute and 45 seconds would be, you know, if they get that, have a minute disadvantage, you'll be fine with that.
Cool Whip looking to keep them off the payload. We'll see how this plays out or not. Shatter comes through, is not successful at all. Transport, Dench. Going to keep all of Kraken into the fight as the self-destruct goes through, and that should be enough. Christoph is successful. A go, unfortunately, throws it out, but not much to work with there. The payload will continue. A full minute difference, which is something, but...
Yeah, minute 43 on the clock in the end there for Mindfreak, so definitely reasonable. A little bit for Kraken to think about, but Mindfreak need to pose a good offense, a good attack.
Initiating.
Minute 43. I think at this point, you know, it's not so much about how much time is actually there in the bank. It's about capping that first point and then getting as much of an overtime push going as you possibly can.
Yep.
Because a minute 43, you know, you probably got, I would say, 2 good pushes, maybe a 3rd push out as well for Mindfreak here on the attack.
It depends how long I think you spend on the first one, just trying to find your space. How long does it take to get into the right position? And by the looks of things, Mindfreak are going to be coming out here, deciding to go with a standard comp, not taking a chance to, you know, work out who's there. Standard goats is probably enough to get this one going. They just obviously, for them, need that first pick, whilst for Kraken, they're going nice and safe as well. And to be fair, they started off pretty well on the defensive side. They did waste a little bit of Mindfreak's time, so if they can do the same thing, they're going to be in a prime spot to pick this map up.
It all comes down to Mindfreak having a good attacking side here. If they're not able to break through A... Ben, why'd you have to press that button?
I did. I was playing with my cough button, and it paused the game.
Broke it.
Ruined the whole thing.
Stop pressing it.
Not working. Go back.
Stop.
Sorry. We'll get there. Please.
Broke everything. What I want to say about this is that Mindfreak, like, for them, they really need to ensure that they have at least something to defend. I guess a tie, to be honest, actually is not that bad for Mindfreak here, given that they have the map advantage. But to get a tie, I think is quite difficult on Hollywood first. If you don't cap out, you know, you need to get... I think you need to cap at least like 1 or 2 ticks here to make it achievable for Mindfreak. Because 2 minutes and, 2 minutes 49 seconds for Kraken. It's pretty reasonable. It's enough time to charge up 6 ultimates, have one good fight.
You'd like to think that you can... Yeah, it's exactly right. It's enough time to get into the position to win that fight without having to overcommit perhaps, and hope for the best.
Yeah, where for Mindfreak, it's a little bit more streaky. If they have 2 really bad fights in a row where they just get completely wiped, that's probably a minute and a half gone, and you're going into that final fight with, you know, maybe one ult or 2 ults available. But you really, in this case, what you want is you want to smash through with as many ults as possible, 4, 5, 6. If you throw them all, at least cap that first point out, and then overtime push, the momentum, you can still continue to push on forward in the overtime. I think really it's so important to cap that first point up, and if you're throwing in ults for no reason, it's definitely not going to be a good scenario for you at all. So for Mindfreak, if they don't start off well, like if they lose the first player in the fight, they want to probably just try and build their ultimates up as fast as possible and really commit to one fight. They don't need to commit to this one unless it starts off well.
Looking for that first pick. Kraken just, I was going to say, going to try and play this nice and safe, but they are so aggressive. It cost them a little bit of HP to start this one off, but no big loss now. It's Lasky who's looking low, and QBN actually found out first. If they can keep Lasky alive, it would have been enough, but the Reinhardt goes down.
Well, the D-Make does come across, and that sort of stabilizes things a little bit for Mindfreak. It's still winnable.
It's all
They're
time,
very
though.
low. They need to just back off here. Lasky's going to come off the respawn a lot faster than Kraken will, but unfortunately, they've just stuck around a little too long. Kraken will punish them for it.
That is not what Mindfreak wanted to see. Great plays coming out from Kraken. Immediately retrading back after losing a player. Immediately taking advantage of Mindfreak as they can't decide whether they want to continue the fight or not. Now that's really going to cost Mindfreak with one remaining fight. And now Dench here does have the trans. This might be enough for Kraken. I think the ultimates are surely in their advantage.
Oh, it's a big shatter there from Legabrill. This is going to be Mindfreak falling by the wayside. Lasky's got cancelled as well by the looks of things. That's one ultimate down. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe better for Lasky to just hold it there, and in this final fight, Christoph getting D-Mech. That's so bad. Yeah. 15 seconds. He's not going to have time to charge the ultimate back up to be able to get back in the mech. I think he's going to have to...
Would you walk back into
Would you swap off and swap back on? It means that you don't have a self-destruct. They might not even get onto the point right now. It's all on Fractured.
Yeah, someone's got to get there.
He does get the overtime. Den's trying to bully him. It's winnable now for Mindfreak.
What is this? How is this even playing out? Legabrill QBN caught out as half the team chases the Lucio. The other half gets into the fight with 5 players here from Mindfreak. And now that has cost Kraken something. This is inconceivable.
Inconceivable indeed. I don't know how Mindfreak managed to win that fight because they were caught out by the grab. They were sort of staggering to get to the point, scrambling to get to the point even. And Kraken still have a rally and a shatter available. But now it's winnable for Mindfreak. Now they can really push this very hard because they have a big ult advantage. If they can live through this Earth Shatter, it's going to swing so hard in their favor, and then achieving even point B. It's definitely possible for them.
Yeah, it's going to come down to this fight right now. Kraken, they've got Legabrill. Yeah, they've got Legabrill here with the Earth Shatter. Actually, a pretty good Earth Shatter. But,
a bigger one.
Hey, there we go.
What you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, nicely played from Mindfreak. They'll get back onto the payload now and get this one moving. It's going to take a little while now for Kraken to find themselves in a decent position. By the time they get through, Goobs, Christoph, both going to have ultimates.
See what I mean about how it doesn't matter if you have a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes on the cap. If you can cap out the first point and start pushing in overtime, you can gain so much distance here. Mindfreak will come into this fight with Rally, with Transcendence, Self-Destruct. Really, Kraken at the moment only have Transcendence to hold against it, which is not going to help against the Self-Destruct. Cool Whip wants to charge this grab up super quickly.
Looking for the big plays. This fight would be enough to get Mindfreak around the corner and onto the second objective as well, if they are successful. Looking again to find a pick. Self-destruct comes through. Oh, big charge. Is that going to be enough? No, there's a trance in the middle. That's a good shatter, but immediately Lasky caught out there by Caramel Koala, and now Kraken find themselves in a good position. This self-destruct could do some damage. There we go. Huge.
Yeah, just not enough value being gained by Mindfreak there. With their own ultimates, there was a couple of nice ones. I thought that the grab could have come out a half a second later, maybe. Dench's Transcendence, again, an early aggressive one if they would have waited for the trans. But who am I to say? Mindfreak obviously have done a pretty good job of managing to, you know, push almost halfway through to point B.
Yeah.
It's defendable. If they lose first, it's still defendable because you can pose a defense at the gates. So it's very realistic for Mindfreak still to win this map. But for Kraken, 2 minutes 49 is quite a bit to play with. Mindfreak will need to ensure that they waste a lot of time on the first point, bare minimum, if not hold on first.
I still can't believe that Mindfreak were able to capture that first point. They were down and they were out.
Yeah.
Very
You're definitely
surprising. I think it must have been surely was it the fact that there was a Lucio on the point, and we saw obviously one player went to pick him up, maybe a second turned around, or they were like, who's going to get him? Who's, you know, you're just not paying attention, not fighting the same fight at the same time.
Yeah, I think it must have just been chaos for Kraken at that point, because Caramel Koala probably would have been yelling that he's hit a massive grab, and Dench is probably yelling that Fractured is on the point, someone help me, I'm dying to a Lucio. So, lots of chaos for Kraken. Mindfreak with a forward hold, an aggressive hold, trying to
This could cost
catch them off guard. Well, Camsy's got the information that they're coming. It could cost them, but it could be a big bonus. Spotted by a go.
Ladsky gets bubbled up after taking a little bit of damage, but now they're not in the greatest of positions.
Yeah.
Will get forced to fall back behind the Reinhardt shield. I can't help but feel I was going to say this hasn't been great, but
50% charge for Ladsky, though. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad
Mindfreak
at all.
can heal up, which they're being given time to do. Kraken have not forced the issue as hard as they could have.
Yeah, and Cool Whip's found the Diva. So, Kraken going to fall back and start this one all over again.
Very dangerous for Mindfreak, a risky play, but it pays off. I thought Kraken had played around it well, but in the end, Mindfreak do hold for now, so that's 30 seconds gone. Not too bad of a start for Mindfreak. Look at this, Cool Whip already has a grab.
Oh, wow.
Caramel Koala's at 30%.
Nothing really to follow the grab up with, though. It comes through. We'll see whether there's no damage that can push its way through the trance, but at least it does force the trance out, which means Goobs is ahead in that regard.
And it means Lasky, if he gets a big shatter here, it could be the difference. Leverett, however, does have sound barrier. But it's 2 support ults to 1.
Throws out the shatter. That's not half bad, but countered almost immediately there with the sound barrier. But its Legabril has gone down. That's a pretty big pick.
Yeah, and it also does not cost Mindfreak either of their defensive support ults. Sure, Rally got thrown out there, but Rally will persist anyway. That's a good usage from from Kamsky's. Oh, look at how much armor there is across the board for Mindfreak at this point.
Yeah, Mindfreak actually looking very strong right now. Now, only 60 seconds on the clock. They're about to have Graviton Surge up again in combination with all their ultimates. Sure, Kraken will, but it might be who plays this better.
Oh,
that's a big shatter from Legabril. He stays alive as well. Graviton Surge follows up from both teams. Here's the self-destruct looking for the big picks, Jordan. Not going to get anyone other than Christoph, however, who trades it back.
Too. No, not quite as big as I thought it was.
It's literally 1 for 1 for 1, and now Kraken combine a few of those ones in a row to find themselves the point.
Yeah, just a little unfortunate there for Mindfreak. I thought they'd actually done enough, but once Christoph went down to the self-destruct, really the floodgates opened for Kraken, and I'm not sure who this favors now, as again, we're going to get into the overtime push before the point is capped up by Kraken. It's anyone's game right now. Could be 2-0 for Mindfreak, could be 1-1. Legabril coming up on the Earth Shatter pretty quickly here. I think Kraken have got the advantage when it comes to the ults. Mindfreak are going to try and take an aggressive hold here, I think, and that'll potentially offer them a second chance. You want to charge ults right now.
Back into it. Mindfreak very aggressive, but it's going to cost them their tank, which potentially now costs them this fight. We are into overtime. The next fight Mindfreak wins is the end of this map, Jordan. Can it be Kamsky's? No.
If Mindfreak lose this fight, it's okay, because they've taken such an aggressive fight that they're going to be able to reset before Kraken can cap the point out. That forces the shadow, it forces the rally, it forces the sound barrier out from Kraken. Gives Mindfreak a little bit of time to build up the ults of their own. There is a grab here. Self-destruct's not too far away, and Goose with Transcendence. Still winnable for Mindfreak right now, but Kraken definitely have got the advantage.
They do indeed. We push ever closer. 30 meters remaining before the point. It's going to be one last fight.
Needs a massive grab from Cool Whip.
And well, the Diva's all the way up the top, so there's absolutely nothing that right click, the defense matrix, can do. And Lasky's gone down. A go again with another big self-destruct, finds both of the tanks, Jordan. And that'll be that. Kraken will be able to push forward here with the payload. And should be able to pick up this point, make it 1-1 heading into halftime.
Yeah, unfortunately for Mindfreak, Lasky was the one hero that they could not afford to die in that self-destruct. As soon as the grab comes down from Cool Whip and Reinhardt is dead, you just know no one is going to die in it because you need the Reinhardt cleaving away with the hammer, with the fire strike to get that damage through. Self-destruct wasn't built up quite in time from Christoph, so they couldn't get the hole-in-one combo. And with Lasky dead, there was not enough damage for Mindfreak to manage to push through with that grab. It was a good grab from Cool Whip, but the follow-up was not available. And Kraken come away with the win. It's a 1 apiece.
Yeah. For me, I can't help but feel the Kraken were the better team here on Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they had a couple of silly mistakes that cost them more than, you know, not more than what is fair, but they were at very costly times.
Definitely. And Ago's self-destructs have been super solid throughout the day so far. Multiple fights being won off the back of his Q button. Legobrill, that was a very nice shatter. I still think at the moment it's sort of 50-50 between Lansky and Legobrill when it does come to the Reinhardt battles. But this was, yeah, well, almost the saving grace for Mindfreak as Fractured was able to get onto the point, but
yeah,
just could not push far enough.
Look at that. Again, so many good self-destructs. So many good self-destructs.
I want to see how Lasky actually did die to that final self-destruct. If we end up getting that on the replay package, like, did he get booped? Did he maybe get stunned while his shield was up, or was his shield not up? It looks like I think he got charged, maybe.
I think it was the brig actually coming through. Yeah, just coming through and knocking it down.
He got knocked or booped or something,
yeah,
and his shield went down, and so that's. Yeah,
won't happen in the next patch, Jordan. It won't be a problem.
Really not what you want when you're a Reinhardt player, but unfortunately for Mindfreak, that means that, yeah, again, the self-destruct did, sorry, the self-destruct wasn't built, but the grab didn't have enough follow-up.
Yeah.
1 apiece. I mean, both these teams looking pretty closely matched, even though, you know, Mindfreak got, I think, probably, I would say, more of a solid win on Control than what Kraken was able to there on Hybrid. I still think it's sort of up in the air at the moment.
Well, Elfishguy, as you said, it is 1 apiece heading into halftime, and we'll have more Overwatch for you on the other side of this break.